Hi everybody, Dave, the WA FIFO and local job recruiter here. Today we're going live. I'm going to be answering your questions about the FIFO job market and also the Perth local area job market for the next half hour. It's 10 o'clock in Perth. We'll go through to about 10:30. So the green screen here is for some editing later on. I'm going to make this available on Facebook video and YouTube, my YouTube channel later on. That's going to be something we're going to talk about. So thanks for tuning in and thanks for checking us out. Your support on the page is great. Thank you. And the views and things on the YouTube channel, great. Thank you. The YouTube channel with me is made for you. It's not made for me. It's free information. So if I'm not available, if it's a weekend, if you can't reach me and you're thinking of a question that might have been asked to me previously, you can probably get the answer on the YouTube channel. I'm nowhere near monetization. I'm not going to be spending that sweet YouTube money anytime soon, but it's an information bank there, and that's going to be important for the future. When I'm unavailable, you can get an answer there. My Facebook status is with Dave, the WA FIFO and local job recruiter page, and the Perth local job recruiter page as well. They're both very handy. I put vacant jobs there all the time. So being active on the Perth local page and the FIFO page is pretty important. I'm always going to invite people who are going to get serious about jobs to text in their email address to 0447 628 876. That's my phone number at the moment. If you text your email address to me or send in a request through Messenger to receive the common selection criteria email, that's really handy because that's got three good sections to it. The first one is about upskilling. Section number 1, upskilling. It's all about the tickets to obtain to evolve through the world. Being a trade assistant, that's the biggest inquiry I've got. All the time, everybody wants to be a trade assistant. So the first section is about upskilling, so you're not a trade assistant forever. Second section is how to get in our computer and on our radar. There's a link there called the web portal, and that's where you make yourself a profile and load up your documents. The importance of that is that when I have a vacancy to fill, that I'll go through the people in the computer first who have made the effort to load their documents in there, so we know what you bring to the party. If I'm looking for someone with a forklift license and a telehandler ticket or something, and a white card, my computer has a way to tune the database up and then find everybody who's got a forklift license, meets the selection criteria. I'll then approach everybody who meets the selection criteria, and that's for free. My Facebook page is for free, my YouTube channel free, but Seek advertising costs the company about $600 or $700 per ad. So with the oversupply of staff and the undersupply of jobs, I hit the people in the database first. Everybody does. So being in the computer is very important. Having up-to-date paperwork in the computer, also very important. If you've done new training and you put it in my system, it's called the web portal, OPMS it's called. If you do new training, I would actually say load it in there and then contact me. And then say, I've done this new certificate. I am now qualified for this. So let's talk about jobs that include your new qualification, like a forklift license, something like that. So being in the computer, mega important. Up-to-date paperwork, mega important. A well-presented CV, mega important. The CV industry is going bananas because there's some terrible people out there with some terrible CVs. And there's also some great people out there with great CVs. Then there's anyone else who needs the help. So it's a very experienced, dozer driver with a terrible CV. They can do the job, but their CV doesn't show it. So there is a big industry of CV creators. It does cost money. One company I spoke to the other day was about $1,000. And you know what they produce you? A CV. The other company was $200 or $300, and you know what they produce you? A CV. So you choose where you want to go with that. They supply different levels of service, like they can tune up your Seek account, they'll give you a cover letter, they'll manage your LinkedIn profile, or things like that. So paperwork gets jobs. Having the experience is king. Being ticketed and legal for something is great, but that's showing you've been trained to Australian standards. Well, is that a question? Oh, looking for some questions, guys and girls. Put them up. But don't worry, I've got lots to talk about, and I'm a good talker, so I fill up the half hour if you really want. So, experience is king. Qualifications make it legal, and a great attitude. Phone etiquette with someone like me, because someone like me lives on the phone all day and night. So if you ring me up and say, "G'day, mate, looking for a job," and I'm going to say, "What job?" "Oh, just any job, just want some work." I've got to tailor the conversation and get you in there for a good result, because you want a good result and so do I. So phone etiquette, super mega important. I've made a little list here, so let's address the list now. TA inquiries, like I said, through the roof. Upskilling is always the way. Being ready in the computer, always the way. Good. Lately, it's been through the roof. Maybe it's the slowdown just before tax time, and mine sites and Perth construction work are lowering the boom a bit on the budgets. So, inquiry high, vacancies low. Lately, my record, I think if I'll do it in the video that I'll make for YouTube with the green screen later on, hopefully I'm putting it up here in this YouTube video then. My record for missed calls in a day was 56, I think. Recently I had an add up for 15 days out of a 30-day cycle on Seek. It attracted 1,400 applications. And I just straight out can't call 100 people every day, even on Saturdays and Sundays. Myself and my colleague are very good at what we do, but we just can't make 100 5-minute phone calls and still get everything else done at the same time. So the demand for jobs is high, the supply for jobs is low. You've got to think of upskilling to be more attractive on paperwork, to be more versatile across the duties as well. If you have, my prime example is the manual license. So if someone on site or in the Perth local building construction somewhere, Perth job, points to a vehicle and says, "Bring that car over here." And if you don't know how to drive a manual car, or if you're not licensed to drive a manual car, you're not allowed to move that manual car. So then the boss says, who can go get that car and bring it over here? So if you can't do it, you've just got less versatile, less valuable on site. So a guy like me, and everyone else just like me, will approach the supervisors that you were placed with out on the job, in Perth, local or FIFO, and we'll say, "So, tell me about Mr. Smith. How did he go on the job? Would you take him back? And can you give me some good feedback, or see this feedback on the performance?" So if that person says to me, "He's useless, doesn't have a manual license," and then, job duties, wrap up on the job duties, that's bad. So when I've got 56 missed calls a day from too many people wanting the same job, you've got to do upskilling. So, like I said, guys and girls, throw a few questions in there. I'll be addressing the questions when you get there, but honestly, I can talk for the whole half hour, but also I'm inviting questions. You've got to do what you're good at. So working on your strengths, shining there, and then evolving up through the world. I really recommend that. Even Facebook inquiries with me have gone through the roof. I think it's 18 to 28 a day. Doesn't sound like a lot, but with the channel getting a bit more popular, even on YouTube there, it looks like we've got 164 subscribers drinking in free information. Great. Inquiries going through the roof. So upskilling is always the way. Definitely being presentable when it comes to interview time, always the way. Oh, looks like a question. I'm going to address that question. Hello, Anthea. I'm just going to move this other little chat bubble out of the way here. Doop. So, upskilling is always the way. Oh, that's a really good question. Anthea, thank you for this one, says, what's the basic qualifications you recommend for men? Well, I'm going to turn that question into men and women because we're all the same. So, in the world of FIFO, I'm guessing, or let's address maybe Perth local work on a construction site, definitely a white card. This is all listed in my common selection criteria email, and Anthea and everybody, if you want to send me a text message with only your email address, I'll know that that's what you want. I'll send you out the common selection criteria. White card at the top. Things are heavy on building sites and mine sites. Forklift license. There's a bit of a bundle of 3 or 4 there. There's working at heights, which proves you've been trained to use a 3-point contact, use a harness if necessary when you get up off the ground. Gas testing atmospheres, which is pretty much that. They give you a little gadget, you lower it into a hole where noxious gas, poisonous gas can collect, and you test the atmosphere to see if it's good for human habitation, that's called. It's basically something the size of a calculator. You put it in the hole, you put it up there, you do something with it, and you're going to test if you're going to survive and get out if you go in. And then working in a confined space. So all those are kind of hand in hand there. Working in a confined space, like under my desk, is a confined space. When I was a driller's offsider, I got on the back of the ute and I was sweeping off the back of the ute and someone said, get down. I said, why is that? They said, you're working at a height right now. So confined spaces ticket is the work you're going to need for TA work for sure. As a trade assistant or as a construction labourer, you're going to be the guy or the girl who gets in that hole to undo that bolt or, gets underneath that thing. So you might want to test the atmosphere in there to make sure you're going to breathe. I always, always, always recommend a forklift license. Things are heavy. And if it's not safe to lift after you've assessed the lift and the weight, with a 2-person lift, it's now a job for a forklift. So like I said before, being qualified for it to Australian safety standards, perfect. And then being able to use the machinery, that's experience. Experience is king. Every machine is different, so you'll always be given a run through on the controls, the safety stop, how to isolate it when you get out, how to unisolate it when you get in. Site requirements might need you to chock up the wheels or put the tines down on the ground, things like that. So another certificate would be a HR license, regular driver's license from the Department of Transport. That's for driving a heavy, rigid truck. You can have a B, which I've got a HRB license, is a manual. So further along past that is also a heavy combination, which is a truck with a trailer, MC license, multi-combination, that's basically a road train. Another great qualification, thank you for that question, Andrew, and everybody else put up a question, please, is a telehandler ticket. Telehandler is something that does not actually appear on your high-risk work license. It's basically a forklift on steroids. So, telehandlers are like a tractor. If I could do this here, I'd put up a picture of a telehandler, maybe on the YouTube streaming that I've saved this for. Here is a picture of a telehandler behind me. That'd be great if I'm good with the tech on that one. After that, first aid, very important. There's not an entry on your high-risk work license for that, and that'll run out after a few years. Some sites like to see it refreshed, the course refreshed. You go for a refresher course for a first aid ticket. Super important because safety is paramount. Everybody wants to get home to their loved ones and their motorbikes and their dogs and everything. So first aid. There's also one called basic fire attack or first fire attack. Also, again, not on your high-risk work license, but super handy to have. It's about using a fire extinguisher properly, selecting the right fire extinguisher for the type of fire. That's why there's red and yellow and blue and other fire extinguishers. And really, when it comes to emergency time, now I've been trained in it, but would I remember everything? If I had a refresher, hopefully I will have the experience and the confidence to address the emergency, the fire there. Hello, Hanwoo. Thank you for your question there. He says, Dave. Oh, but for more qualifications, we're going to keep going about that because I'm all about qualifications and upskilling. So, Hanwoo's got a few qualifications. He's working as a concrete labourer. Great. Got all the basic licenses. Great. HR Auto, white card. Articulated dump truck. Yeah, forklift, EWP, working in heights, confined space. I applied for more than 1,000 entry-level roles, but none of them are working. Is it about my visa, working holiday visa? Maybe it is. Thank you for that question, Hanwoo. Let's address that. So, when I talk to someone who's on a working holiday visa, I like to ask, how long have you got to go until the end of the visa? Because if I invest in you with PPE or upskilling, and then the company invests in you, and you go out and you learn, and you're on a plane, you're part of the team, they're thinking of the long term. What they want to do is have people who are not just meeting the selection criteria. They want great people who are part of the team. But if you're about to leave in 3 months, that's going to be tough. So first of all, timing on the work holiday visa. Second of all, the type of visa itself. I know that if you're on a student visa, now I know you're on a working holiday visa, but on a student visa, there's an hour limitation. So we need to know the type of visa. It would help in your application process if you supplied your FIFO check every time. So I wouldn't have to go and look for it and find it and do a search on you, and just takes up my time on the computer. If you supplied it, that's saying, look, here it is, let's talk about it. So maybe, and I don't know you, Hanwoo, but let's find out what the nugget here is. What's the black swan, as they say? Is it the CV itself? Are you presenting well on paper to, get that callback? Maybe the qualifications, they have listed a good list of them, but do they meet the selection criteria on the jobs that you're applying for? I have people with a white card applying for a dump truck job, and they've got no experience and no training in the dump truck, so I don't call them. And I had a guy call me back saying, why didn't you call me? I'm on the phone now, let's talk about this dump truck job. You're not qualified and experienced for it. So are your experiences, Hanwoo, matching what the site needs? Don't know. We talked about the CV. Have you got eye of the tiger, Hanwoo? Did you pick up the phone and do a follow-up call? Did you maybe present to the office of the company that you sent your documents to? So, certain amount of eye of the tiger. You don't want to poke the bear too much, me being the bear. But if you're meeting the selection criteria, if you're presenting well, if you're qualified for the duties, you know what? You just might be up against a lot of other competition. I've got 9,500 people in my database at work. There'd be maybe 2,000 trade assistants there in the trade assistant category. In the rigging category, in the rigging basic, there might be 600. So if you upskilled, Hanwoo, and went to rigging or scaffolding, if you had versatility, that'd be great for the recruiter or the final decision maker to say, this guy here, the job is TA, but he's trained in, hopefully experienced in, scaffolding and rigging. When it's a bit quiet over here, we'll send him over there to the riggers, get him to help the riggers. So being versatile would be great. If you mention that in your application, that'd be great. So, Hanwoo, great question. Thank you very much for that. Anybody else got a little question they want to put up there? I'm very happy to take questions. It looks like it's coming up to 10:23 now. Like I said, I can talk all day, but in general, I'm here to field questions today. I will refer everybody in this live chat now, and hopefully this YouTube video, to check out the YouTube page. It's made for answering questions. Absolutely, it's made for you. It shortcuts my life and time with saying the same thing all the time, but it's made for you. It's not made for me, it's made for you. So upskilling again. There's a lot of different ways to go with it. Like I said, another question coming in. Thank you very much. I'm just going to talk about that after I say this. Thank you, Rain. Thank you. There's a lot of ways to go about it. There's no point in being a qualified scaffolder if you don't apply for those jobs, and there's no point in applying for those jobs if you're not qualified for it. So you make your goal. It looks like Rain's got a question about dump trucks. Let's address that right now. Hopefully Rain's got some qualifications and all that type of thing. So, hello Rain. You're a female, 4 years mining experience. Great. Dump truck, water cart, 777, 773. Good. Plus Komatsu. Yep. I'm just going to reach in and do that one there. Drill and blast surveyor, assistant, crusher operator, trying to return to the industry after a break. Oh, that might be the issue there. What's the barrier? So, Rain, if you can put up in the chat there how long you were on the break for, please. And Charlotte, thank you very much for your question. I'm about to address that after we do one here with Rain. Rain, how long were you out of the industry for? That would be something relevant that I would need to ask and get a good answer on if I was speaking to you on the phone. If you've gone away and done irrelevant things, maybe you don't have your eye in, maybe your tickets have 15 years, big break, massive break, huge break. Slow connection. That is a bit of a red flag for me, and I've never even met you. So thank you for your question. Let's talk about it. If you've gone and done things that are not industry related, are your tickets still in date? You might be trained and hold the dump truck license or the Moxie license or something, but if you haven't had your bum in the seat of a large machine for a long time, you're going to be a bit rusty, and that's the truth. If you haven't been even driving a HR truck, let alone a dump truck, dump trucks cost $4 or $5 million. A few more comments from Rain. Thank you very much. We'll get to those. $4 or $5 million. If you haven't been trusted with a heavy rigid truck or a forklift or a telehandler or the broom in a workshop, and if you've done office work and you've been trusted with a computer more than you've been trusted with a $4 million piece of machinery, that is a bit of a red flag. I think you should keep persevering. You can do it, and if you keep trying, you will do it. You've just got to find the right place to give you the right kind of chance, basically. I say this a lot at work. Sometimes you have to start off where you don't want to finish up. So if you had to get on the forklift in a warehouse at Toll or Coca-Cola or something like that, and then you can say, check this out, I've been safe for the last 6 months operating a 5-ton forklift. Grew up on a farm and used to use farm equipment all my life. I hear that one all the time, mate. A lot of Irish people in town tell me they grew up on a farm and been in tractors all their lives. But if you've been trusted with the spatula at McDonald's, that's not the same as a dump truck. So you've got to get your eye in, get a bit of practice in, I reckon. Get in the forklift in a warehouse somewhere first. Get in a telehandler, working for a roofing company or something. Be back in the industry. Think safety, eat safety, sleep, breathe, and burn safety. And then get that on your resume. Really good, presentable resume. Rain, how does your resume look right now? Is it presentable? Does it highlight your dump truck experience, even though it was a long time ago? If it's 3 lines, and I see it all the time, terrible resumes where they've been in a job for 10 years and it's been wrapped up with 3 lines worth of summary about it. But Rain, if you had a bunch of information there like, I did it safely, They were 12-hour days. I was in open pit production mining, or I was in a quarry, or I was getting loaded by trucks. The more stuff you've got there to talk about, oh no, resume is good. The more someone like me can read. So maybe, Rain, give me a call on Monday. I do have some dump truck jobs coming up soon. I did so many submissions for them about 2 weeks ago. They said, Dave, turn off the tap. But the tap is going to be turned on again. Soon they're going to send me the spreadsheet of like the numbers of people required in what machines and at what sites. These are flying into Kalgoorlie doing 2-in-1s. So you're going to need a good National Police Clearance Certificate. Rain, definitely text me your email address in the meantime. My number is 0447 628 876, and everybody should do this. Just your email address, nothing else. And then I'll send you the common selection criteria email that I pump out all the time. It's the upskilling. It's the getting on our radar in Section 2, so our computer knows you're not going to approach the people in the computer. And Section 3 is how to find the jobs. So, Rain and everybody, text me. Just your email address, nothing else. Let's talk on Monday, Rain. Let's see when the tap turns on again. Hopefully you're in WA for me, you know. Okay, thank you. How do I find your number? Yep. No, I wouldn't have put your email address on the internet like that. My phone number and my email address is on my Facebook page. Just text me your email address to 0447 628 876. So I did see another question up there. I'm just going to see if I can check it there. Charlotte. So thank you, Charlotte, for the question. I'm just going to try and read it. Any chance of getting a driller's off-site job for someone interstate? Ooh, tricky. With a HR license, forklift and a white card. Ooh, I'd like to see a bit more training on top of that. I'm happy to relocate subject to a job. So, interstate inquiries. Let's talk about that one first. Interstate inquiries are a bit tricky, because if I've got people if I'm in Perth and the job's in WA and the point of MOB, the higher point of MOB is in Perth, people from interstate have tens of thousands of people closer to the job than them, and this is why that's a problem. So when I get someone on the phone, I ask, where are you? Will you pass the drug and alcohol test? All that jazz. If you're interstate, I stop everything there. I say, where are you? Where's your airport? It's Brisbane Airport. If I'm standing at my computer, I'll Google up a flight cost, and it's going to be at your cost to get across. Why would anyone employ someone and spend more money employing them than they have to? Because there are a lot of people who want to be drillers off-siters in WA that don't need extra MOB costs to site. So if I live in Yokine, I can get an Uber from there to the airport to get on the free plane. If you're in Brisbane, or your young person there, Charlotte, is in Brisbane, and let's use it as an example, I know that's about a $600 round trip. So you've got this young person here has to be not only at the airport in Perth at the right time to get on the plane, they've also got to make themselves available for a drug and alcohol test at a clinic somewhere, wherever they are, a pre-employment medical for twisting and bending and hearing and seeing and lifting and all that stuff. Sometimes my employers like to do a face-to-face interview. So then they've got to conquer the Zoom meeting or the Teams meeting. So then they've got to be onboarded, approved, and then if everything's got the green stamp of approval all over it, and then suddenly they say, can this young person be at the airport tomorrow? Maybe your interstate person can't be. So there's a lot of people in WA that want that job who can be at the airport and at the medical and at the DAS, drug and alcohol screening. They can be there this afternoon. So a little bit tricky. Great question though, and I get that question a lot. I'm going to do a video on that on the YouTube channel, Actually, I think I've got one called Interstate Inquiries. Got about 58 videos on the YouTube channel. I really recommend people check it out. It answers questions when I'm on the couch at home not answering your phone call. It answers questions that you've got. The YouTube channel is pretty cool. So, thank you for that question, Charlotte. Let's see if I can find another question here. Oh, no, it doesn't look like there's any fresh questions. What's the time? Oh, it's coming up to 10:35. So, let's wrap it up, guys and girls. Thank you for your inquiries. Check out the Facebook page. I put jobs there. Vacant jobs. The YouTube channel is made for you. It speeds up my life. It helps you out when I'm sitting on my couch at home. Get answers to questions you need when I'm not available. Hanwell and Charlotte and Rain, thank you for your questions. They're very relevant and they're just like everybody else's. They're important. So thank you for letting me address them today. Facebook page, YouTube channel, it's made for you. Oh, Carol's got a question. Oh, Carol says thank you. Thank you, Carol, for tuning in. And thank you, Anthea, for tuning in. Seriously, people, if you want to get that pretty handy email that I made to save my time and your time, just text your email address and only your email address to 0447 628 876, and Monday I'll forward you the email. It's super handy. It's made for you. I do this in my own time. I film and edit while I'm on the bus at work. I film a Coffee with Dave series on lunchtime in Perth while I'm drinking a coffee. It's called Coffee with Dave. 60 seconds of info at a time. I'm in the industry. If you want to get in the industry, check it out. It's free. Anyway, all right, folks, unless there's any other questions, I really appreciate your time there. YouTube channel, free information, Facebook page, vacant jobs, text your email address to my phone number. Carol says I've done that last. Oh, good. No worries. She's texted her email address to me already. Cool. All right, folks, thank you very much. Have yourselves a good weekend. I'm out of here, and stay safe, and let's see some progress with your journey, and maybe I can help you out into a suitable and sustainable job soon. Cheers.